Hello everyone and welcome to Retire Smart East Texas. I'm your host Paul Gampard with our special guest, Staci Aldridge, Integrity Financial. Welcome back, Staci.
Hello, Mr. Paul. Good to see you.
Man, it's good to be seen and it's good to see you, my dear.
Thank you so much.
So look, retirement, we talk a lot about these things because we love to educate people and help them make tough decisions, right? So we hear this phrase retirement plan a lot. Very generic, right?
Yes, sure, it is.
So will you help us understand the different types of retirement plans?
There are all kinds of retirement plans, and that's one thing I like to make certain and clear to when I speak with a group or individual, that they understand what kind of money they have. Yeah. Uncle Sam loves to keep us confused in the way that he has different names for all these different retirement plans.
You're not kidding.
And what does that really mean to us?
Right.
So we just have to keep up with those acronyms, if you will.
Right.
But some basically, if you think they're a way of planning for retirement before taxes. So if the corporation is a public corporation, a profit-earning corporation, you're going to have a 401k. If it's a preacher, teacher, hospital, nonprofits, that sort of thing, more than likely a 403b. But they're both saving before taxes. If you're a government entity, county, cities, that situation, 457s. And then you have ESOP plans, and you have different plans among all of those different, but those are going to be saving before taxes.
Got it.
And then ultimately, how do those retirement plans work together? So if you're an individual, that's pretty simple, right? But if you're a married person, and or if you are an ex-spouse of someone who receives benefits in the future, how do they work with other retirement plans? And in addition, how do they work with Social Security? So that is a very integral part of our planning, is understanding what kind of money our clients have, but more than that, I want them to understand what kind of money they have.
Yes.
And why certain things work together and they don't and other times. So that is an important part of our retirement strategies.
Okay.
It's just knowing where that money comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different kinds of retirement plans. I want to discuss that retirement income strategies. It's the responsibility of me as a retirement professional to understand those, whereas that's what makes us different.
Okay.
So going out to the public and you get someone to work with you throughout your career and help you build your income for your retirement, for your future. You're contributing to a 401k, whether you're getting matches or not. You're in a defined benefit plan versus a defined contribution plan.
Right.
Those are actually different terminologies that have different meanings behind them, right? That's what I need to know. So you're going to come to somebody that's an expert in this area to help you with your distributions going forward in retirement. It's a different ballgame.
Absolutely it is.
It's a specialty.
And it's a different part of your life, period, right? So understanding that you have to have something that fits where you're going.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So let me ask you, in the plan, when someone's talking about looking at different type of retirement options, what are some of the things they need to have or could share with you? Can they, for instance, debt? Is it really important for their retirement specialist to understand their debt load?
Absolutely, and that's one of my questions. So when they come in and we sit down and have a friendly conversation, I'll have a little note-taking pad in front of me, which I call my fact finder. And one of my questions, that is exactly what we talk about, debt. And that's okay, we're real people.
Yes.
Some people focused on getting those kids through college and getting them married, and now they're in late life building their retirement. Now they're thinking of themselves. Others worked a little differently. Some didn't have to do that with their children. But nevertheless, do we have debt? Do we have mortgages and big cars or credit card, medical expenses, college, education debt, all kinds of debt that can follow us? And then it becomes more into a play of, well, let's focus on that debt. Let's try to narrow that down in a way that makes sense as a pro plan to your retirement planning, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being proactive. Well, it makes sense, right? Because you want to have a strategy in place to decide, well, let's say you might want to pay off your home. It's a good idea to discuss that with the retirement specialist before you go and do that, correct?
Oh, and you can get me into a whole basket of picnic basket when you say that word. So do we want to pay off our home with our retirement monies? No, we don't. Not really. I mean, that's my opinion.
Okay.
So I have people that come to me all the time because I have to say, I love your home. Your home is your home and it's warm and fuzzy, but it's brick and mortar. Okay. Is that home going to make you money? Are you going to live in it forever? Well, then we're not going to think about reselling it and making a profit on that home. So you just took your retirement money and dumped it into brick and mortar, and now we don't have something to fall back on and plan with.
Boy, that's a wonderful point.
Okay. So we need to be careful about some of our decision making when it comes to those debts and paying them off. With what kind of money are you using? Yeah, that's a big topic that we talk about. I talk about family, legacy.
Oh, yeah.
Do they have children? Are those children grown and independent? Some of these folks these days are raising grandchildren. So now they have younger ones at home that they're still feeding and they're still educating, and so that's another dependent situation.
No, that's a good point.
So when we talk about the different retirement plans and then we're going to reach our goal for retirement, then we also have to think, well, I understand all that, but now what are my personal situations so that we can make the right plan going forward.
And that's what's so important, to have the consult, right? To have someone to get to know you and understand where you are.
Well, by all means, and back to the retirement plan and security for your family, pensions are going by the wayside.
Yes, you're right.
Yep.
Yep.
So now it's really left up to us
Yes.
to plan that retirement.
All the responsibility has gone from the government to the employer. Now it's down to you.
Exactly.
Because nobody else wants to deal with it.
And then here you are at a pinnacle point. Now you've got to make a big decision.
Yes.
How are we going to distribute that? And that's where we like to come in and at least soften that a little bit, have conversations. It's always better to have a conversation with someone unbiased that is not in your family feeling the emotions you're feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And more set back and looking from the outside in. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's what we want to focus on, the different kind of retirements.
Well, excellent. So I understand you have a wonderful opportunity for folks that will call in today. So what are you offering when they call in, Staci?
Absolutely. Hey, again, we're right here in East Texas. We're right out your back door in Longview. Come on in. Let us talk with you about the different type of retirement plans you have, how they do and don't work with Social Security, or if you're married and a spouse, and how the different plans can work together. Some are a little sticky. They're not always what I want to say best friends with Social Security, so we need to know the formulas and how all this comes together. But there is a way, and that's what we specialize in. We welcome you to come to the office. Give us a call. It's your time to come visit with us. 888-759-3335. Hope to see you.
Good stuff. And relationships are important. Think about all the relationships that have made you successful in your life, whether it's a spouse or a best friend, or a confidant. Maybe it's a doctor's relationship that you formed early in life, or a school teacher. But now you're at a point in your life where it's your retirement. And is there someone in your corner, someone who's on your side, facing things like taxes, who's going to represent you to make sure that you keep as much money as you can in retirement so you get through it? That's the key. Pick up the phone, give Staci and her team a call, 888-759-3335. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after these short messages.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life, and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Retire Smart East Texas. Again, I'm your host, Paul Gephardt. Thank you so much for being with us today. And a very special thank you to my co-host, Staci Aldridge of Integrity Financial. Staci, I mean, we're talking about all the different retirement plans available, and there's a lot of different options available to folks. And depending on where they are, what plans they have, there might be some different changes and adjustments need to be made when they're getting ready to retire, right?
Well, and that's a good point. We get so many referrals because someone told them that call Staci Eldridge. She knows and understands what kind of retirement plan you have and how these work and do not work with Social Security or with other retirement plans. So again, that's our responsibility. That's our specialty. And that's what makes us different than the other brokerage houses that are out there. So that's the joy we have, is bringing that light, that explanation, and that knowledge to those individuals when their specific situation, their retirement. You know, we've got defined benefit plans.
I was just going to ask you that. So talk to us a little bit about the differences, right? So there's a defined benefit and a defined contribution. We talk about confusing. I mean, what's really the differences here? What are we talking about?
So a defined, basically, it's how the plan promises the differences between what it promises for its participants. So if we think about a 401k that's very common, that's a defined contribution plan.
Got it.
It's a choice. Do I want to contribute to that? And then my employer will give or will not give these days a match. And then by the end of the show, meaning now you're ready for retirement throughout your lifetime and now it's ready to retire, how will that 401k plan, how has it performed? And now what do we do to create an income from that? A 401k is not designed to be the pension.
Got you.
You have to move those funds from a 401k to create that distribution.
Oh, wow.
So how did you participate? How much did the employer match? How well did it perform? And now you're at retirement. Now what do we do to create those distributions? And that would be your defined contribution plan. More times than not, 99% of those individuals participate in Social Security as well. So they have Social Security withheld from their checks, and they have a 401k. So no conflict there. We can schedule their Social Security, we can outline their contributions from Social Security, outline contributions, distributions, I should say, distributions from their Social Security, got my tongue tied there, Paul, and distributions from their 401k without any conflicts.
I got it.
So that's really the easiest route to go.
Okay.
Okay. The conflicts come in with defined benefit plans.
Okay.
So that's going to be someone who has a set pension. They may or may not necessarily be paying into the Social Security.
Okay.
So there comes the conflict. So a defined benefit plan says if you stay on board and you're an employee for X amount of years and you reach or attain a certain age, then you qualify for retirement and we're going to pay you a forever pension. So those are set guidelines in that. We follow those rules. Typically it's the rule of 80. My number of years of work, my age together, equal the rule of 80. That's very common.
Okay.
So that would give them a full retirement benefit. They can work longer, but if they work or retire earlier, then it's a reduced pension. Yeah, that doesn't mean they paid into Social Security.
Got it.
So that's when we run into some special calculations.
Got it. So
that
it
we
could
have
cause
to
some tax
understand.
issues probably, huh?
Yes. Well, it's going to cost some extra calculations.
Okay.
So prime example. A lot of the folks in our area will have, say, a spouse. So I'm just going to be very traditional. The husband's working the position with the 401k and the Social Security. The wife is a school teacher. Okay. One's paid into Social Security. The wife has a defined benefit plan with a pension, but no Social Security. How do I pull the big picture together and plan for their ongoing retirement distributions?
Got you.
And that's where it takes a specialist in this area to understand the formulas of how all these work together and may not work together so well.
Wow, you talk about lots of detail. So it sounds like someone who understands the detail is critical in making the right decision here.
Absolutely, 100%.
Because to your point, you're talking about the combined areas of the different types of plans these folks are in, depending on where they work and what their contributions are, right?
And then I've got individuals who come to me who've been career, and it's not just school teachers.
Yeah.
It can be some county positions
Oh,
paying
gotcha.
to
Like a
a
government
defined
job of some
plan, a
kind.
government job that didn't pay Social Security.
Right.
Or a nonprofit business.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
Nonprofit hospitals. Some police departments and fire departments fall in that category.
Wow.
And believe it or not, are not paying Social Security.
You know, and I think that's refreshing because I think there's a lot of these folks in the community, right? Wonder where do they go for answers to some of this,
Exactly, exactly. And that's the point I'm trying to make to East Texas right now at Integrity Financial. That is a specialty that we do have. I'm just gonna say on TV, I kind of own up to that. I get a lot of calls in that area, and I want to say that that makes me happy that individuals feel confident to call us and help us through those calculations, something we do all the time. Give us a call at Integrity Financial. We're here to help those individuals navigate through a very important and critical time in their lives. I get to be a part of that pinnacle life-changing event. And I enjoy that, but yet we want to make sure we do it correctly.
You know, it's incredible that you're, you know, willing to do that, even though, again, it's not a plan you establish. For instance, like even a 401k. Because I think a lot of folks think they have to do, you know, I have to go back to my HR department because that's where I set up my 401k. They get an 800 number. But your team is willing to meet with them even on that and discuss options on that as well.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's part of it. And especially we come in, you know, 10, 5, 3 years before retirement, we can really help them navigate that planning to get to the point that that is their ultimate goal for retirement.
I was going to ask you that. When is the optimal time for people to really start thinking about transitioning from that accumulation phase, right, to getting ready for retirement? Is there a rule of thumb with that, Staci?
Wow. You know, that's very relative to the individual. That's going to be their comfort zone on risk and whatnot. But the pinnacle point, I would say, if it were my preference, I would like individuals to come to me at least 3 to 5 years beforehand.
Okay.
But that can't always take the place.
Sure.
Some are just learning about us. Some have waited to the very last minute and they've really tried to navigate themselves. It's okay.
Yes.
Again, I'm going to emphasize we're real people.
Got it.
But it really helps us with the planning, both of us, for the understanding, the process, letting it sink in, then going into implementation. Rather than doing, I'm retiring at the end of the month, let's put it all together.
Right. Hey, Staci, don't mean to put you under the gun, but go.
Yeah. So, do we do that?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
But it's a little bit different momentum there,
Yes.
as you can imagine.
So you really like to have like that 3 to 5 year window, but whatever it is, don't panic. Bring it to us, right? Bring it to you, and you can handle it. Right?
And that's our focus, is to put all these, again, pieces together. Like my book says, putting the pieces together. It's very important we know all those detailed pieces.
Yes.
Whether the individual has thought about them or not, and maybe they don't want to think about all of that.
Yes.
So let us do those thinking.
Okay. So again, remind the good folks of East Texas what you're offering today when they call you.
Yes, thank you. We are offering for you to come sit down and visit with us in the office. We understand different retirement plans. I understand the formulas with the windfall elimination, the government pension offset. If you're in that category, you probably already know it and would like to understand the formulas a little bit better if you don't already. Come on in. We're a warm environment. You're welcome. We're right here in the middle of Longview. Integrity Financial, 888-759-3335. Hope to hear from you.
That's great stuff. And that's the important part. So whether you've got a deferred benefit plan or deferred contribution, a 401k, whatever it is, maybe you work with the government, you're not sure who to talk to about advice. These plans get very confusing, but the bottom line is having someone in your community who works with these day in, day out can help develop a plan around you so that you make sure you maximize what you've saved, that you keep it, that you hang on to it for the retirement you deserve. Pick up the phone and give Staci a call at 888-759-3335. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after these short messages.
When was the last time you saw your financial professional? Are you getting the most out of the strategy that was created for you? Although you've done a great job finding someone to help plan for your future, are you 100% sure that you were given the right strategy? We can help answer these questions and more with a complimentary second opinion evaluation. We will take a look at what you have in place and then help determine if you're well positioned to get the most out of your future retirement income. In the event that it is not, we can help by making suggestions and showing you how to get on the right path. You wouldn't get just one opinion when it comes to a major health decision, so why would you treat your most important financial decision with such disregard? Call today for your no-cost, no-obligation second opinion evaluation to see if you're getting the most out of your retirement income plan.
Welcome back, everybody, to Retire Smart East Texas. Again, I'm your host, Paul 𝘁𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗏. Thank you so much for being with us today. And a very special thank you again to Staci Aldridge of Integrity Financial for spending the time and investing in the folks out there. I mean, I love your heart for this, your community. You want to make sure people do well in retirement. And you brought up so many different options. I mean, it's unbelievable what's available and where people could be.
Sure.
And, you know, you mentioned the defined benefit plan and Social Security. Social Security seems to always come up in all these different plans, right?
Sure, it does. It's something that originally, back when it was established, was kind of our fallback for retirement.
Right.
Back in the good old days.
Was the basis, right?
Yes, it was. And it was just automatic when the man retired, the female, the spouse didn't work back in those days for the most part. And she would glean some benefit from his record. And so it still remains that way, but to how much it will affect couples is very important to understand when setting up these plans, just knowing those rules inside and out. We were talking about defined plans. If an individual has a pension plan and they have not paid into Social Security, the thing is Social Security will pay them pretty much what they've contributed. So they're right to their Social Security benefit, okay? But if you have a pension that you have established over time, that pension becomes first and foremost. So you're going to get 100% of your pension.
Right.
But you won't get 100% of your Social Security.
Oh, okay.
Now, if I funded, so me, for example, if I were, I'm just going to say easy peasy, a teacher, nonprofit worker, and I funded a pension, then my contributions from my paycheck go toward that pension throughout my career, not to Social Security. Now, if I had a different career and worked outside of that teaching position at different times in my life, or maybe I was a late bloomer and I had a career in Social Security, then I thought, oh, I'm not ready to stop working, but I'd like to work in the school system. Have my summers off and my holidays off and keep my feet in the, get to be around people. That happens a lot too. So it depends on how many years and substantial payments have been made into Social Security. And that's where I have to put the formula together to find out, okay, I know we're going to have a pension. How much of that Social Security are we going to receive as well? And it's not the same for everybody. In fact, it's very different for everyone. So it's just knowing the calculation, what to look for, and how to calculate that for that individual and the factors involved. Now, that's my own Social Security. That's called the Windfall Elimination Provision, commonly called the WEP.
Got it.
And that's right on the Social Security website. They can go to ssa.gov, click in the little search bar, WEP calculator, and everything I just mentioned will be right there for them.
Wonderful.
So we have to understand the windfall elimination is for my own Social Security. So, flip side, back to my common, generic, traditional, the man has the Social Security and 401k. Again, I'm the teacher. Oh, those don't work well together. The man's paid into Social Security, has a 401k. On the other hand, as the teacher, I never paid into Social Security. Will I receive a portion of my spouse's Social Security benefits, as we would normally think we would?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So that pension is going to govern everything. And that's the government pension offset, the GPO.
Boy.
So that's different. That's if I'm going to receive spousal benefits versus my own benefits. So the GPO, if I'm going to get something from my spouse or not. Okay? And that is even in divorced couples or survivors, if your spouse was in a situation different than yours. So we need to look at survivor benefits or ex-spousal benefits or currently happily married benefits. Or if I'm just single benefits.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, if you have a pension or you don't, and you pay into Social Security, that makes a big difference on how we calculate that forever income.
Yes.
That retirement plan.
Yeah.
Making people's dreams come true accurately.
Yeah. You know, in listening to you describe this, it's really a lot like putting the different pieces of a puzzle together, which explains why you wrote the book, right?
Can I pull that out?
Yes, you can. You can.
So now you know how I came up with that title.
No, now I do know, yes.
It's exactly that. And it's putting everybody's puzzle is different. And it's always a joy to work with different folks because my job never gets boring.
I get that. Let me ask you this question. I mean, this might be a little bit different. It's a little bit off topic, but I think it's very related. What's one of the pieces you find always missing or gets overlooked a lot in folks' plans?
The part that gets overlooked a lot, we all want money to last our lifetime. So that's the big question. I'm not going to outlive my money, right? I'm going to have enough money. So that way we always talk about. I think that they don't understand that we can promise that forever income, because you don't get that in all the advertisements everywhere. So that tends to be an unknown that we uncover the rock for them, and we show them, oh, there's hope here. There is a promise. But I think the one that tends to be left out the most is planning for those unknowns, the medical crisis.
Oh, the medical crisis,
and
yes.
the legal part, the powers of attorney.
Power of attorney, right.
And all of that. So in our office, it's very important that we bring up all those topics. And we work with individuals in those specialties to refer our clients to make sure we do complete their plan.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you do have teams that you work with, folks that
we
you
do.
partner that specialize in certain areas?
Absolutely. And that's why we call ourselves Retire Smart East Texas, because we have culminated a team of professionals. That I'm the financial retirement end, the Social Security, that knowledge. We've got a Medicare specialist, and we have our legal team.
Oh, wow.
And that way it's all encompassing, kind of pulling together all those aspects we really need to make a wise retirement transition.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Staci, thank you for being with us today, but believe it or not, we've come to the end of the show.
Yes.
So one more time, would you remind the good folks of East Texas what you're offering when they call in today?
I'd be happy to.
Yes,
Thank you.
please.
Yes, East Texas. Again, we're right here in the middle of Longview. Come and see us, sit down. If anything, a checkup on your accounts, a reevaluation, just to see if you're on track. But again, so many different types of retirement accounts can get quite confusing and muddled. We want to relieve the overwhelming portion of that and help bring clarity. If anything, we want you to have clarity and knowledge. We're right here, Integrity Financial. Give us a call, 888-759-3335. Hope to hear from you.
Good stuff. Investing. You, people, your life. That's what it's about. Right now, invest in yourself to be the difference that you want to see. Give Staci and her team a call. Thank you for being with us. Be well and enjoy your retirement.